Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I think all the ice has been broken, so I'm here to give my experience. I've been a trainee on the D43s, so I'm a bit excited because I've had all the people I look up to going through this. So I sort of feel I already see now where I'm going. So I've been on this program quite some time, but for now, I'm in health sciences, clinical department here, clinical epidemiology unit, and I'm in the third year of my PhD study. My topic is looking at HIV self-testing, and I'm looking at men. So I've been trying to examine and see if this can help the men in Uganda improve their testing rates and also how they are linked to prevention and care. So just a brief of what I'm doing, since today is not an academic meeting per se. I have two phases in my work. One bit of it, I started out and went to a community in central Uganda, PG district for the locals. So Uganda has regions. So when I went to that region, I found different things to work on. In the situation analysis, I tried to look at the prevalence of testing in men and what is stopping them from testing, what is enabling them to test, and then also set out to find what they think about an intervention, which is an oral HIV self-test. So I have a bit of my findings there. One thing that stood out is that over 15% of the men in PG had never tested in their life. So I went out to bring my intervention, which was an oral test. And in that phase of the work, I had a prospective cohort study, and I gave out kits, gave people some time to use these kits, and had several assessments to see if they've used the kits, if they've gone for confirmatory testing, if they've been linked to care, if they were tested positive, but also to get the experiences of everybody who was part of this, process. And I pulled out just a few bits of results. At the start, for this cohort, I realized about 19, almost 20% of the people I was dealing with had never tested in their life. But when I gave the kit, almost everybody used the kit. That is 98.5%. And the prevalence of testing, people who are positive, was a bit high. But also I realized my intervention picked on very many people who had never known their positives. I had about 38 newly diagnosed positives, the last bit here. So that is just about it, just to break the ice on the PhD work. So where did I get to D43? I joined this college in 2015. My first degree is in biomedical technology. So I came to the clinical epidemiology unit, and I was taught by Dr. Katamba. He's one of the lecturers. You had him mentioned, he's a senior lecturer in the department. So while in that department, I saw a notice of, adverts for trainees. So I took up the advert and applied, and I was chanced to get it. So while in the master's, I studied HIV oral testing, this time looking at the diagnostic accuracy and acceptability, because it was new at the time. And this is all on the HIV implementation program, which I'm talking through. And I was supervised by Dr. Semitala. You've had him, he's around. Other colleagues in the college, Dr. Buku, and then Professor Joan Kalyangu. And still mentored by the department faculty. I was helped to get the clearances around the local authorities and have my work done. So part of the benefits I got at that time, I managed to complete my work in time. I completed that degree in 2017. So, and as part of that, I was helped run through a one-week training on scientific writing, which was funded by the D43, and I managed to publish my work at that very time. I went ahead, and because of the training that I'd gone through, I managed to present my work at the Ministry of Health. When I presented that work, at the time, HIV oral testing was the hot subject in the country. So it's one of the studies that informed the amendment of our policy to have an HIV self-testing addendum. And I also went ahead to present this work on an international platform. It was my first time there, but I presented it at the International AIDS Society conference, and all thanks to the D43 as part of. So after the masters, I saw a notice inviting people for a symposium. Since it was basically academic work, I picked interest to learn more about the implementation science. It's a new field. I knew really nothing about it. So I attended the symposium, and after attending that symposium, I sat down with the work I had worked with at Masters and created a few questions which I was helped with. I was mentored by a big team. Dr. Kataba was one of the people who had the workshop at the time. Dr. Fred Semitala was there. And then I got a team of professors who I'm working with right now. Moses Kamia, Rhoda Wanyenze, Joan Kalyango, Katahoire, and then Charles Karamaji, who have helped me move the journey I'm on now. I had my concept approved, my proposal approved. I collected a bit of data which I've shared with you in the start, and we are still moving. So in addition to that, I had a chance to learn how to work with tools. If you have questions, I got trainings on Open Data Kit. I did a 1-year mixed method fellowship funded by the PAT program to learn how to make the break between the quantitative, because I'd done my master's purely quantitative, and the qualitative, get those skills on board. And then the online course that was a 1-year program also in implementation science to learn how exactly to use the new knowledge in the implementation science field and apply it in my PhD. And that was also a 1-year program. And all these were funded by the D43s we are in here for. So at this time, there are several things that are going on. I'm working on my first abstract from the PhD, which I'm going to submit maybe 2 days from now. And then I'm also in the process of applying for a fellowship. There's a new opening in the University for Fellows, so I hope to apply to be under the Department of Medicine. I have been mentored and supported to write a grant, which I've just submitted with Professor Kamia, an R21 grant, and I'm also offering research support on another study that's HIV-TB stigma with Dr. Katamba. Just a few pictures of the fieldwork. I worked in a community that is having a number of these people around the lake, the Great Lakes region. So some of those structures you're seeing are coming from that area. Yes, and this is my acknowledgement. Thanks to the program, the Implementation Science program, which is funding my work, the PAT program, which has supported me for several stages of my work also, but also the disclaimer. The presentation is purely the author's work, not the finance. And then the CEU department, where I still am, and then to all the mentors. Thank you so much.